Alright, so this question at its core is actually not as complicated as it might look. What we're looking at is it using the compound interest function on our calculator. It's just the information is a little bit scattered around. So what we're going to do is just read through it and sort of think about what information we've been told. So Matt wants to go on a round the world trip when he's 30. He is now 20 and can afford to save $180 per month in a savings account with 3.75% per annum compounding monthly. So a few things there. We know his age. We know when he wants to go on his trip, so 10 years from now. We know that he can afford to save 180 and it's monthly. We also know that we've got an interest rate that is given to us, and that's also compounding monthly. So we've got a fair few bits of information, but let's just look at the first part. Matt gets a chance to go on the trip when he's 26. What we want to know is how much has he got in his holiday fund at this time. So what we're looking for here is the FV. So we're trying to find out how much he's got in there. So let's start filling it in with the information that we know. He's going to be able to save $180 and he's doing that monthly. So PMT is going to be negative 180 and our PY is going to be 12. The interest rate is 3.75 and it's compounding monthly, so that is 12 down here. We haven't been told that he's starting off with any money, so we're just going to say PV is 0. And he's doing this when he's 26. So we're going to just assume that that's 26 at the same amount of time, same point in time after he started saving. So we're going to say 6 years times by the PY, which is 72. So that gives us enough information to plug into our calculator. So 72 as our N, 3.75 as our I. We're going to say the PV is 0. The PMT is negative 180, and that's monthly. Set your FV to 0 and your PY, CY to 12, and then we're going to solve the FV. What we have found is that he has got $14,508.49. That is the amount of money that he has saved up in that time. The second part of the question, the trip will cost $16,500. Can he afford to go? What we're looking at here is the fact that we also want to think about some assumptions that we've made. So we can see straight away that he can't afford to go because the trip is actually a little bit more. When we're thinking about assumptions, this is a very important thing to consider when we're doing our investigation. 6 years have passed. So we are assuming that the interest rates haven't changed. So interest rate has not changed. We're also probably considering that he's still saving the exact same amount of money. So he's saving at a constant rate. Now, if we think about what happens in reality, sometimes you'll save, say, your $100 a fortnight. Other weeks you might have a little bit more to put away. Sometimes emergencies might come up. So these are really important things to consider as assumptions that you've made in relation to whether or not this is a reasonable answer to come up with. Other assumptions that you might make: the trip is $16,500. We don't know if we were calculating that $16,500 6 years ago or if that is the price of it now. So price of trip has been assumed. Another really important thing to think about, which may or may not be relevant, is that inflation hasn't been considered. If we had to think about inflation, the fact that he is earning a certain amount of money, in the future, the money that he has is going to be worth less. So potentially by the time he gets around to having saved for this, he might not actually have as much money, or his money might not go as far as he hopes it would.